Welcome back to Get Down to Business. Continuing in our conversation today is an expert with a unique perspective on urban business dynamics and what it takes for local enterprises to thrive. Our guest is Mark Burns. He's the executive director of the Coconut Grove Business Improvement District, BID. With over 2 decades of experience in real estate leasing and asset management, Mark has seen it all from managing nearly 100 city-owned leased properties for the city of Miami to leading marketing and operational strategies for commercial spaces. His current role, Mark works directly with local businesses, giving him a front row seat to what makes a business succeed and sometimes stumble in a competitive environment. Mark, welcome to the program.
Wow, I love that intro. You got me fired up here. Thank you so much for having me.
It's all truth. It's all truth. I'm telling you. Mark, I know you've managed nearly 100 city-owned properties for the city of Miami. So what's the single most important lesson that you've learned about the relationship between government and local business vitality?
Oh, that's a tough one. You got to go through the proper channels in government. It's not easy to do deals with the government. You have small time deals for nonprofits and things like that, and then you have these big, huge developments that are massive undertaking. And the big thing is to hire the right team to help you get those deals accomplished.
I love it. I love it. And now as the executive director of the Coconut Grove BID, you work directly with local businesses. So what's the most common operational challenge that you see entrepreneurs and small business owners facing right now?
People are always the most difficult thing and the biggest
True.
challenge, right? Hiring the right people, training them the right way, training them the way you like to do things. I manage a lot of people as well. We have a small team, but over the years, obviously, I've managed a lot of people, and that's really the secret to the sauce is hiring the right people. If you make a poor decision in a hire, cut it loose before you invest too much time into it.
So true. And, we often talk about resilient businesses here on Get Down to Business. How do you define a resilient business in the context of a busy urban environment like Coconut Grove? And what's one immediate action that a business owner can take to strengthen their resilience?
To me, it's somebody who withstands the test of time, right? And with the rising costs of rents throughout South Florida and across the country, for that matter. One thing that I advise people to do who are in the restaurant business, they're new in the game, or they're in the retail business, is as I try to encourage them to try to find a way to buy property, to buy a building, right? When you and the businesses that are in Coconut Grove where they own their property, they're able to inflate their prices on things with the rest, but keep them at a little bit more of a competitive level, but their rents, their mortgage, what have you, is not going up, cutting into their profit. So that's one thing that I would advise. If you can, get your hands on some real property.
I'm chatting with Mark Burns, the executive director of the Coconut Grove Business Improvement District, and we're learning some strategic insights on building resilient businesses, tackling urban challenges head on, and measuring real success in today's market. Mark, you are skilled at identifying opportunities for business growth. You just demonstrated that. And in a competitive and urban area, what's a simple low-cost strategy that a business can use to differentiate itself and attract new customers?
I think the new norm is social media, right? And getting out and getting a good marketing person or hiring a good firm that has a pulse of your target demographic, your neighborhood, where you're at. Every neighborhood in Miami is different, and Coconut Grove is very different from the rest of the city of Miami. And so it's a very niche market that you want to make sure you have a firm or somebody that really knows the neighborhood, knows the community, and knows the people that you want to target. So, it's not too expensive to hire a good marketing firm and to handle social media in that regard, and that's definitely something where you don't want to cut corners.
Yeah, I think it was last week on the show, I spent a couple of minutes talking a little bit about upcoming Small Business Saturday. And, one of the things that we all need to do and invest in is ensuring that we are differentiating ourselves. And I love that. Definitely, it's important to surround yourself with professionals that can advise you in areas that you might not be the strongest. And again, going back to what you do, the Business Improvement District, How do you go about measuring real success? Is real success sales figures, or are there other more strategic metrics that you advise businesses to track?
Well, I mean, the number one thing is always, cash in the registers, right? So we have a lot of different metrics that we look at. We have hoteliers that are in the business district, right? So that's kind of the lifeblood of the district when you have tourism and people coming in. If those hotels are full when we're in season, that means all the businesses are going to be full more than likely because, we have a lot of hotels in a small area. So hotel, how their vacancy rates are doing is one metric that we look at. And then yeah, cash and cash register sales, how people are doing. We track some things using Placer AI and certain technology like that just to see if we do an event or something like that to see how many people are attending, and we kind of try to track attendance to see how things are going. So people, sales, and then people in beds, butts in beds, heads in beds.
I like it. However you describe it, bottom line,
We
those
got
are
there. I
important
got it
metrics.
out. I
I
got it
like
out.
it. I like it. So for a business owner, this sort of ties to what you were talking about earlier about, again, buying a property. But for a business owner who's currently considering, maybe a commercial lease, what's one piece of non-negotiable advice that you would give them before signing any document?
You definitely want to read through it, right? And I would advise to if you're not adept at business and leases and it's your first time in a business, I would definitely advise hiring a consultant, hiring some sort of an attorney that specializes in retail or whatever kind of office lease, whatever you're getting into. I've had so much experience over the years. I try to offer my help to businesses and things like that to try to, at pro bono, just people relationships that I have, family members and things like that. I've read through so many leases and I've seen so many people get taken advantage of by these big corporate landlords and things like that. It's just a shame over the years. So you got to protect yourself. If you're going to go into something for 5 to 10 years of an investment, you definitely want to make sure that you know that thing through and through.
And the landscape of commercial spaces is always changing. What's the biggest trend that you're seeing right now in real estate that urban business owners should be paying attention to?
Um, One of the things that you always want to pay attention to is common area maintenance, CAM fees, and things like that. I've seen over the years that I've been doing this, I've seen some underhanded ways that landlords can get away with charging additional charges where in a typical retail or in a typical retailer office scenario, you're paying your proportionate share of any expenses that the property is going to have. But I've seen instances where it's written so that you not only pay for your proportionate share, but you pay for a proportion of the vacancy in the property. So that's one thing that I've seen throughout the years. It's not super common, but I've seen it. Other things that I've seen are like admin fees, right? We all pay admin fees. We understand that, but I've seen admin fees on real estate taxes, where this is a huge expense, and all they're doing is writing a check, and for that you're paying a 15%, a 10% admin fee. That's just something that is atrocious. But people sign deals for that all the time.
So my last question, Mark, is I know you've seen businesses succeed and stumble. What's the biggest difference in mindset or strategic approach between a business that thrives and one that struggles in a competitive local environment?
Every area has different things that are gonna set you apart. But I mean, speaking from where I'm at now in Coconut Grove, like I said earlier, you want to know your consumers. You want to build relationships not only with your consumer base, but with other businesses within the area, right? Even your competitors. I've seen people like have, oh, we don't sell. You might be a bar, right, and you only sell beer and wine or something, and somebody wants to get you send them over to your competitor who might sell liquor, right, and you build a camaraderie, and when they have you just learn to work together, and you have like a
Yeah.
cohesive neighborhood.
Mark, this has been awesome. You've given so much practical advice, and I want to make sure our listeners can find out more about Coconut Grove Business Improvement District and you. How can they get in touch?
Yeah, so our website is really easy, coconutgrove.com. You can come and see all the stuff that we're doing out there. And you can find me on LinkedIn, Mark Burns. Easy to find. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Mark Burns, thank you so much. We'll link in the show notes. Make it super duper easy. Remember, you can always get in touch with me. Just search on your favorite podcast app. Search for Get Down to Business. Make sure you subscribe, rate, review, and share. We post each and every episode over there. A quick break. We'll be right back and Get Down to Business.